On this episode of Eat Sleep Drive, I show you how to change the oil on your 328i. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Eat Sleep Drive. And as I mentioned before, today we are changing the oil on my 328i. I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride, show you, because I know a lot of you own BMWs. This could be applied to a lot of different cars, but certainly any BMW straight six, this is going to be pretty much apples to apples comparison. The first thing I want to talk about was what oil you're going to need. BMW has specific recommendations for what oil you should run in their cars. Specifically, this car needs BMW Long Life 1, and you'll see that. I'll show a close-up of that on the oil itself, but basically make sure the oil that you're getting meets those specifications. This is Castrol Edge European formula, which does meet those specs, and I was happy that I could actually find this at Walmart. I was kind of surprised because I didn't think I was going to be able to find what people call German Castrol because it's made in Germany at Walmart, but I did, and it was pretty cheap, so I would recommend going there. So I also got this just K&N filter because this is the only one they had at Walmart. But anyways, obviously these are basic things that you need for an oil change, but let's dive into the oil change itself. Just real quick, I already covered the oil and the filter, obviously. There are some other basic things that you're going to need for this job. So you need a ratchet or a wrench. This is 17 millimeter. That's to take off the drain plug. To get rid of the oil. Before you even do that though, there's an access panel under this car. You'll need a flathead screwdriver to open up the access panel, and then you're going to need something to get the oil filter housing cap off that holds the oil filter in. So I just have one of these oil filter wrenches, which should do fine on this. They sell like a socket specific for BMWs, but I'm not paying money for that. And then this car specifically takes around 6.5 quarts. So I purchased 7 quarts of oil. So just want to give you guys a heads up before you dive in. This is what you need. Now I'll show you the video of when I put this thing on ramps, but be careful when you drive on ramps. I was being very careful and it was almost a disaster. You can see in the video, I was driving up on the ramp and the one just like shot away. So ramps can be kind of weird. You can certainly just jack the car up. I like to do ramps just because it saves me a little bit of time. But you're going to want to drive the car on ramps or jack the car up, obviously, to change the oil. So do that with caution. This is just a warning because that happened to me. So be careful. I put jack stands under it just because I'm super paranoid, but you don't really have to do that if you don't want to. But yeah, put the car on jack stands and then we'll get underway. We are now obviously under the car, and I have my oil catch here. And of course, you know, I said earlier that you'll need a screwdriver to remove what typically would be here. This is like an access flap to drain the oil. And of course mine is missing. So hopefully you still have yours. And then you just open that up to gain access to this flap. But anyways, mine is gone. What can you say? You can see the oil drain right here. So you're just going to want to remove that. It's way easier to do if you're not holding 3 different things. Alright, so I've broken this guy loose. I'm going to try and position my oil drain catch as best as I can. And quick. Not bad. So while this drains out, let's go up to the top. Now that the oil is draining out, I always like to come up top and just open the valve cover cap, and just so air can get in there, it'll drain a little easier. And then we're just going to start working on replacing the oil filter now while the oil drains. Just trying to be efficient with our time. And like I said, this is not the preferred method to getting this off, but it certainly works. Like I said, BMW has like a socket that you're supposed to put over this, but this works obviously just fine. So I'm going to undo this, and I'll show you guys what is underneath. I went ahead and got some paper towels because this is inevitably going to make a little bit of a mess, but just going to undo this, put these paper towels here to try and catch any oil. And you can see the oil draining away, so just let it drain out of here for a minute. Alright, so here we have our filter, and this guy just slides off. This is just like a plastic housing that the filter slides on and off. So this guy slides off. I'm going to put him in the garbage. And there are a couple seals that we're going to have to replace. So there's one seal right here, as you can see. And also this one's a little more hidden, but there's a seal around, or O-ring I should say, that goes around towards the lid, and it's black. A little bit hard to see there. But we're going to go ahead and take those off, and then your new oil filter should have come with new O-rings. So let's take those off now. This is a job best performed with a pick, but oh, that's gone forever. Yeah, best performed with the pick. For like, that was literally a complete accident, but that's probably why you use a pick and not a screwdriver, because when things pop off, it probably tends to hold them better. Anyways, I'm using a screwdriver because I don't have a pick, and this should work just as good, except for when it flings an O-ring in your engine bay and then you never find it. Okay, sweet. So that O-ring is done. Let's go ahead and unveil our new package. Look at this fancy new oil filter. Want to make sure that it's the same size as the one you removed, which looks like it's good. And sweet, here we go. So we got, K&N was kind enough to include these new O-rings. I'll put this guy on first. Into place like so. So he's good to go all the way around. And then there should be a smaller O-ring, which there is in here. So it might be a little bit trickier to put on. Might need to use a screwdriver, but we'll see. And he just goes on top here like so. Hey, that was pretty easy. So we put the oil filter on the housing cap, and before I go jamming this thing back in here, I'm going to get a turkey baster or maybe just some paper towels and sop up this oil. This is obviously the old oil, which we're going to want to get rid of as much as we can while we're in here. So I'm going to go do that first, clean this out, and then we'll jam this guy back in here. Alright, as you can see, I got rid of most of that oil that was in there, and now it's time to just screw this back in, and it simply just screws back in the same way that you loosened it, and snug her up. That's nice and tight, not going anywhere. And let's go back to the bottom. We're going to put our drain plug bolt back on, that way we can fill the engine with fresh oil. Alright, the oil draining has slowed to a slow drip. We could be here all day to get that to completely stop, but that's good enough for me. The oil filter came with a new copper crush washer for the drain plug, which is nice. So I just put that on here and we shouldn't have any leaks. I'm going to go ahead and clean the mating surface of the drain plug just because it might have some contaminants on it, and it'll get a better seal if it's cleaned with this copper crush washer. So I'm just going to go ahead and thread this on and then snug up the bolt. Alright, the bolt has been snugged up and we can head back up top. The drain plug is now in on the bottom, so we're all tidied up on the bottom of the car. We should be done on the bottom. The new oil filter is also been tidied. Now we just need to fill it with oil. So take your BMW approved oil, and I got my handy funnel here, because otherwise I'd probably spill everywhere. And just fill it up. It takes about 6.5 quarts, so you could fill it a little less than that and then check on your trip computer. But I'm going to fill this up, and then I'll show you how to reset the service light inside your car when you're done. Now that we've changed the oil, we have to reset the oil service indicator, which all these cars keep track of when the last time you change the oil, to remind you to change the oil and all that good stuff. So yay, technology. So put the key fob in, press start. Then what you're going to want to do is press and hold this button. And now we see we have come to the service area of the screen. And to toggle the different parts of the service area, all you have to do is use this little toggle guy here. And you see, oh, I almost passed it. Here's the oil. I'm going to go ahead and hit this BC button. And then I'm going to press and hold it this time to reset. And you can see a little clock working. And with any luck, yay. Okay, sweet. So now we are reset. All right, in order to check your oil level and not reset the oil change interval, but just to check the level, these cars don't have a manual dipstick, which is super annoying, but you can do it with the computer. What you want to do is start pressing this little scroll wheel right here on the stalk until you see oil, pretty obvious, and then just press this BC button once. And mine already says okay, but sometimes it typically will take a few seconds to take a reading. It has to be at a certain temperature to do it. But mine's right at okay, so I'm going to call that good. All right, guys, that's it. Super, super easy job. The dealership around me charges over $100 to do this job. I picked up all the things that I need to do this, the oil and the filter, for around $50 at just my local Walmart. So anyone can do this with some simple hand tools, save you a couple bucks. People that say BMWs are expensive to maintain and stuff, they can be, but you know, if you do your own work, it really goes a long way in saving you some money. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and we will see you guys next time on Eat, Sleep, Drive.